On March 12th, 2012,
discovered in Matanuska Lake when investigators believed to be the body of Samantha Koenig.
They found a body they believed to be Samantha Koenig's in Matanuska Lake out in the valley.
It was a cold February evening in 2012 when 18-year-old Samantha Koenig finished up her evening shift at Common Grounds, a small coffee kiosk in Anchorage, Alaska. As closing time neared, Samantha began her routine of cleaning up and preparing to close shop. Little did she know, a stranger had been watching her, learning her habits. That night, the man approached Samantha, drawing a gun and forcing his way inside, thus beginning a series of tragic events that would end in murder. Samantha was an upbeat teenager and doting girlfriend to 20-year-old Dwayne Tortolani. The couple had fallen in love quickly, with Samantha practically living at Dwayne's house with his dad. She was beloved by her friends and family for her bubbly personality and ambition. Samantha hoped to save up money to pursue her passion for hair and makeup artistry after graduation, but a ruthless killer cruelly cut her future short. That fateful night, Samantha messaged Dwayne just after 8 p.m. to let him know she was finishing up. Dwayne headed out to pick her up, unaware danger lurked right outside the coffee stand. Unbeknownst to Samantha, her kidnapper had been watching her at the coffee stand for quite some time before the abduction took place. In fact, the kidnapper already knew that the coffee stand closed at 8 p.m., and he also knew that the female barista was often picked up by a young man, later identified as Samantha's boyfriend, Dwayne. After closing the stand, the kidnapper knew Samantha would be closing up the stand when he approached her on that fateful evening. The kidnapper, 34-year-old Israel Keys, entered Common Grounds armed with a gun and bound Samantha's hands behind her back with zip ties. Surveillance footage shows them exiting together, Samantha compelled to walk ahead of Keys to his idling truck nearby. Dwayne arrived minutes later to find the coffee kiosk empty, lights off. He called Samantha's phone, but there was no answer. Assuming she got tired of waiting and walked home, Dwayne headed there next. But she wasn't there either. Now worried, Dwayne called friends and checked local hospitals, but no one had seen Samantha. In the early hours of February 2nd, Anchorage police officially declared her missing. Investigators obtained surveillance footage showing Samantha's abduction and released images of the kidnapper to local media. But with his face obscured and no contact from him yet, they had little to go on. As days passed with no breaks in the case, dread mounted that Samantha may not be found alive. Behind the scenes, the kidnapper was Israel Keys, an Anchorage general contractor and father living with his young daughter and girlfriend. Keys had coldly selected Samantha as his ideal victim, learning her patterns at work in advance. After forcibly taking her, Keys revealed his plans to rape and murder her. He bound and gagged Samantha, leaving her tied up in his shed, while he took an already planned trip to New Orleans. Upon returning on February 17th, Keys moved forward with his sadistic fantasy. He sewed Samantha's dead eyes open and posed her body, snapping a proof-of-life photo with that day's newspaper. The next week, Keys dismembered Samantha at his home before driving hours north to dispose of her remains through ice fishing holes into Matanuska Lake. Meanwhile, Anchorage police received a barrage of tips, yet no real leads. Then suddenly, a major clue appeared. On February 24th, Dwayne received a text from Samantha's phone containing instructions to check Beluga Point Park for a message. There, investigators recovered the disturbing proof-of-life photo and a ransom note demanding $30,000. Desperate for any hope of her safe return, Samantha's loved ones quickly raised the funds. Yet, tragically, Samantha would not be returned alive. She was already dead, her body mutilated and discarded by Keys. Over the next 2 weeks, Keys gradually withdrew the $30,000 ransom using Samantha's debit card as he fled Alaska, first in Arizona, then New Mexico and Texas. The surveillance footage captured a masked man using the debit card. The footage also captured that man driving a white Ford Focus. The mask made the man unrecognizable. But the car gave investigators something to be on the lookout for. Police tracked his route down Interstate 10. Then on March 13th, a state trooper in Texas noticed a vehicle matching the description and pulled it over, finally arresting the driver. Israel Keyes. Questioned by police, Keyes confessed to abducting and murdering Samantha Koenig. He led investigators to confirm her dismembered remains dumped in Matanuska Lake. But the horror was just beginning. When he was charged with Samantha's kidnapping, many people had questions. Who was this man? Why did he take Samantha? Keyes soon revealed Samantha was only his latest victim in a multi-year murder spree spanning the country. Born in Utah into a fundamentalist religious family, Keyes had long harbored twisted fantasies of rape, murder, and domination. After a turbulent upbringing and army service, he settled in Anchorage in 2007 and started his own construction business. The busy contractor and family man concealed a monstrous alter ego addicted to random, merciless bloodshed. Keyes described being compelled to kill since his mid-20s, likely between 8 to 11 victims in total. His method was to prepare supply caches for impromptu crimes in various regions years before striking randomly. This enabled Keyes to avoid detection, with police unable to connect far-flung murders. Crime locations included Washington, New York, Vermont, and possibly Florida. While Keyes confessed some deeds, he guarded other case details, hoping to protect his legacy of terror. Among Keyes' admitted slayings were Bill and Lorraine Currier, a middle-aged Vermont couple viciously attacked in their home in 2011. Their bodies never found. He also suggested his first murders occurred in the late 1990s in his hometown area of Stevens County, Washington. Officials there consider him the prime suspect in the rape and murder of a 12-year-old girl along with other unsolved slayings. In May 2012, during a routine court hearing, Keyes attempted to escape. He used wood shavings from a pencil to pick his handcuffs and tried to flee the courtroom. Police ended up tasering him to subdue him and take him back into custody. Before police could fully unravel the extent of Keyes' carnage, he was found dead in his Anchorage jail cell on December 2, 2012. Keyes had slit his wrists and strangled himself with bedding, leaving behind only a blood-soaked suicide note mocking investigators. His secrets and body count died with him, a fiend who fooled all around him with his facade as a loving father and small-town contractor. The random abduction of Samantha Koenig was but a late chapter in Israel Keyes' ruthless spree concealed within mundane suburban life. While justice ultimately came too late to save his many victims, police closed every possible case related to Keyes, hoping to provide their families some closure. Samantha's loved ones, along with Bill Currier's wife, now live on honoring their memory, while still haunted by the horror this serial killer inflicted. Samantha Koenig's tragic murder awoke America to the cunning predator in their midst, hidden in plain sight through the banality of evil. For over a decade, Israel Keyes roamed free to kill at random. While police now believe they identified his slain and missing victims, the country may never fully grasp how a seemingly ordinary man could unleash such merciless terror.